Eat that kitty. Eat that kitty. Eat that kitty in the hideaway. Eat that kitty. Eat that kitty. Eat that kitty in the hideaway. Welcome to Girls Unscripted, everybody. My name is Kate.
My name is Carolyn.
We're not sure if that aligned well because we learned that doing this on Zoom, you can't be synced on a Zoom, okay? There's only so much you can do on a Zoom, but I hope that sounded good.
If we were in person, we would have had a choreographed dance. We would have done the Huda dance together.
I've tried to do that actually, and I can't do it. But the cross-armed one, is this
Yeah. And shimmy, back, up, back to the shimmy.
Oh my God, you know the whole damn thing.
I've seen it on TikTok about 5 million times by now.
How did you feel about the winners of Love Island USA Season 7?
Oh, just warms the cuckles of my heart. Yeah. I mean, Amaya Papaya got what she deserved. I did like Nick and Alandria, but their story was just... It wasn't quite there yet to deserve the whole thing because it just started about 3 days ago. Yeah. I think Amaya deserved her happy ending Love Ever After, and I'm so glad she got it. I loved the video of your TikTok showing the reaction to the crowd. You watched it at a party, I assume.
Yeah, one of those Love Island watch parties that have been happening all over LA. Shout out to Reality Bar, actually. So this girl, her name is Maddie Bible. I know her through the Survivor drinking game that I do.
Oh.
Years ago, back in 2023, she did a Love Island watch party for Love Island Season 5. And she's been very consistently doing them ever since. And I mean, there have been some, I went to a Traders one that was huge. Slowly they have been getting more popular. But something happened during this Love Island USA season where her reality bars blew up. So many other bars, I don't want to say we're copying her because it's not that new of an idea to watch TV at a bar. But I will stand by the fact that I think she really honed in on this first. She was interviewed by the LA Times. All the Love Island people were going to the bars. And then, at the one I was at, since she is a friend of mine, I did have a bit of an inside scoop that some of the Islanders would be going to the bar.
So sick.
I didn't know it would be every single one that's not in the villa anymore. I mean, we saw the ones that have been all about town. All the Casa guys have just been all over TikTok and all about town. But we saw Austin, we saw Taylor and Clark. Mm-hmm. I guess those were the significant ones from this season. But yeah, it was really cool. And they were just ripping shots and dancing on the bar and serving shots to people. And it was really cool. And they had their own little VIP table. And we were all just kind of watching them and filming them and being oh my God, look at Austin, look at TJ, look at this, look at that. And then I look over at Christy. I was with my friend Christy, and I go, this is how people used to act with fucking Leonardo DiCaprio at a club. And
probably.
And now I'm fawning over Zach from Casa Amor. Come on now.
Whose talent is? Fill in the blank for me. What talent are we celebrating?
His talent?
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. It's they're so talented. We love them.
Their talents
We're obsessed with them.
TikTok.
Exactly.
And reality
Their talents
TV.
Are making out in costume. How about that?
There you go. No, it was super cool. That day was crazy. So I was at the reality bar. It was Sunday. On Sunday night, saw all the Love Island people. But before I went to the reality bar, this is the silliest thing. Carolyn and I met a lot of the challenge people at the Vanderpump Villa reunion screening. And after we met all of them, Rachel Robinson followed me on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
She then DM'd me a couple days ago and was hey, I'm doing a Rachel fitness thing in LA. Do you want to come? She didn't invite me to the fitness part, which I was a little bit should I be offended or flattered?
Be I'm very fit, but could be fitter, and I have the ability to be
right.
Fit.
Or she was this bitch is a lost cause. She's not working out with us. But she was come to the party. There's going to be some challenge people there. So I go to the after party, and it's at this nightclub in Hollywood on a Sunday at 2:30 p.m. It was a very odd feeling to be in a nightclub on a Sunday at 2:30 p.m. But Rachel was there. She was so nice. Was oh my God, I've been loving following your Instagram.
Aww.
It was really sweet. And then I met Emily Schramm. You know who Emily is?
Yes, but remind me.
She's only been on a couple of seasons. She was on Challenge 40. I really don't know how else to describe her other than she is a girl that you should look her up. If she would have continued doing more challenges, she would be the Cara Maria of the challenge.
Oh, she was a champion. She was in Sid's book.
Yeah, she won one? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait, she might have won with Paula, actually. on Arrival season.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But anyway, she's a freaking boss. And then as I was leaving, I ran into Veronica. And that was really
girl,
cool.
That's so fun.
It was really cool. And I got a picture with Rachel and Veronica. And I was like, my mom's.
Oh, hey, mothers. Hi.
So it was a big reality TV day for me on Sunday.
Man, reality TV. Is it like a disappointment if there's a weekend now and you don't meet a reality TV person?
Sunday was too much for me. I needed a break. Like normally when I like get home from like a strenuous day, I want to just turn on reality TV. Well, after Sunday, I was like, I either need something scripted or like I need to read a fucking book because I'm a little like that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Like Love Island is over and now they're all like doing press and all these interviews. Like I kind of don't want I'm like kind of out of it now. Like I need a break from Love Island.
You need a break from just reality TV. I mean, woo, you've been going.
Never.
But you were born to do what you were born to do, and that's to never stop.
Never stop stopping. What'd you do this weekend?
My mother-in-law was in town.
That's
right.
Nice. The Swiftie.
Yes, the Swiftie herself was in town, and so we went to a bunch of comedy shows and West Side Theater, your favorite, and then we went to Crowlings.
I love that West Side I.O. Is that what it's called, where you've performed?
It's like, I think you're no, that's not what it's called, but I know why you think that. It's like MI West Side.
That's the one. Yeah. Shout out to them. That's my favorite. I hate comedy shows and improv shows just because they make me feel really claustrophobic for some reason. I don't understand why, but I always go to them because I want to support my friends. Did not feel that way in that West Side one. I fucking love that place.
No, they'll bring drinks to you, bitch. You don't have to like squanch your way and pray to get a seat. Yeah, so it was super fun and good to see her. Yay, family. And now Kyle's in Indiana.
Nice.
So I am living the bachelorette lifestyle.
You're a bachelorette right now. I have been here. I just feel like now I have to talk to you about Bachelor in Paradise because I know you guys are recapping it. And I'm obviously not watching it, but I'm hearing from some friends that they're not loving this new format.
What about the format?
That it's like very Love Island-y and like not like what Bachelor in Paradise was made off of. But I get it. I mean, they took like what, a year and a half break or whatever. Like a rebrand is fine.
I think it's just going to take us a moment to get used to what this is. Even the cast is getting used to what it is. But like, for example, and we'll talk about this on the Bachelor in Paradise podcast tomorrow, but they have challenges now very much like Love Island. And yesterday's challenge was essentially a Love Island game, and that you had an app and you could swipe right or left. Right was you wanted to kiss the person, left was you didn't want to. And if you both matched, you got to meet in a secret gazebo and kiss.
It's actually a good game.
It's a great game, but it's something they've never done anything like that on Bachelor in Paradise. So they were like, I don't know even what the fuck this is. And so hardly any of them swiped right on more than one person. It was still very awkward. I don't know. They're getting the kinks out, I think, of how they want this season to feel.
Interesting. Okay, good to know. Thank you for this. See, I need to stay in the zeitgeist. Did you hear, this is crazy, and I'm sure gabbers are waiting for us to talk about this, what Sheena revealed?
I couldn't wait to talk to you about it.
Okay, so if you're listening and you don't know, I'm sure you already know. Sheena revealed that this was from an excerpt of her memoir called My Good Side, which, by the way, it's got everybody talking about that book, so you gotta give it to her. She revealed that Barack cheated on her, had an affair with someone that he knew previously while they were living in San Diego while she was pregnant, but he only told her about it after they were married, after Summer Moon was born, because of Scandival. And I think he said to her, like, I don't want people to start digging and have this come out. And that's how he told her.
There's so much to say to this. My first reaction was, she's lying. And then my second reaction was, okay, she's not lying. Then my third reaction was, well, why the fuck didn't she talk about this on the show? My fourth reaction was, oh my God, I bet Bravo is furious at her for profiting off of this big secret life moment that she didn't share when she was on the show where you're supposed to reveal your secret life moments. Those are the first things that went through my head.
And those are all valid points. Now, I will say, she is kind of damned if she did, damned if she didn't. And like, here's the discourse online, It is fucked up that her and Lala, but her specifically now, knowing what we know now, gave Ariana so much shit in that 11th season, forcing her to talk to Tom, basically breaking the fourth wall a little bit, you need a storyline with Tom or else this show is canceled. Even accusing Ariana of taking food out of their child's mouth because she's not sharing enough. She's not talking to Tom about this. She's not doing this. She's not doing that. When all this time, Brock had cheated on Sheena and Sheena could have brought that to the show. But now I do firmly believe that if Sheena would have brought that to the show season 11, so many people would have been like, oh, she can't let Ariana even have this one thing. Now Brock cheated on her. Like, she's damned if she did, damned if she didn't, don't you think?
Would people, though? People give Sheena a hard time for anything she does. So I do think it's one of those things that, like, if anyone else had said they had an affair at the same time, I don't think they would have gotten as much flack. If Sheena had revealed an affair at that time, that is such a Sheena thing to do, that because Sheena said it, she would get flack. But I don't think people would be on hard as her as she thinks people would. Like, I mean, were you not shocked? Like, that's a shitty thing to do, Brock. Hello? She's pregnant. Like, I think she would have actually had more support than she gives herself credit for.
Yeah.
But then again, we have, like, berated her online for everything under the sun. So I can also understand that.
I just think people would have been like, why isn't she letting Ariana have her moment? Why is she trying to steal the moment? Like, she just wants the brand deals and the love that Ariana's getting. Now, granted, it would kind of depend on how they went about it. Now, I think the proper storyline they could have made here was Sheena saying, this is very difficult for me because Brock had an affair with another woman and I'm choosing to stay with him. And my best friend is choosing to not stay with the man that had an affair. And I don't really know where I fit into this. I don't know how I can be a good friend to her and have it not seem like I'm being a hypocrite because I stayed with my husband. Now, that's what I'm saying. Like, if she took it off of her of like, here's just this experience that I dealt with. I don't know how to apply this to what's happening right now versus what she probably would have done and just been like, Brock had an affair and this is really hard and I'm going through this too. Like, I just don't know that she would have approached it the right way, but it's a hard thing to approach.
Right. Well, when you were talking, I was just like, man, well, that would have been a good show. You know, like that would have been a really good show to see.
You're right.
Because watching it as it was like an okay show, but watching that plus the added dimension of that's real, and that's kind of what we want to see is the real shit go down. So even though it's complicated, I feel like that's what she's kind of obligated to do, is show the mess. And if people associate her with, like, trying to steal the spotlight of it, they can honestly go fuck themselves. Like, I'm also at a point where, like, I don't know, people are going to say what they're going to say. You know, like, Sheena can do no right. Like, now. I feel like now the public has made up their mind about Sheena, and she's forever going to be an annoying little bitch that gets too much screen time and wants too much screen time.
You're absolutely right. And I've noticed, like, people are pulling clips from season 11 of Sheena just acting so erratically, and people saying, like, now it makes sense. Because think about it, she probably was going through this really tough internal struggle of, I chose to stay with my cheating partner while we're revolving a whole season around fuck Tom for cheating on you. Tom's a piece of shit. Ariana being like, I will never talk to him again. I will never get back together with him again. While inside, Sheena is talking to her cheating person again and did get back together with them. So if we would have known that all of this was happening, the way that Sheena acted would have made more sense. But I still stand by the fact, like what you said, people are always going to have shit to say about her. And I personally am kind of over that in terms of everyone. Granted, there's never enough shit to talk about Jax Taylor, and we will get into that next. But like with this whole, like, all this, the Love Island stuff and all those, like, the cancellations and all the Janet of it all and all the Sheena of it all, like, there's just so much happening. And I'm like, can I just watch my shows in peace? That's the point on that right now. I'm not saying those things aren't justified or valid or that we should not be holding people accountable for their actions. It's just making it a lot harder to just enjoy. Okay?
Yeah. And I do think part of why I like doing this podcast is that we can shed light on both sides of the story and, like, think of it from angles that maybe you didn't think of it from. And so that we can see that, you know, two things can be true at the same time here. But I mean, Even I got slammed. I got called a Karen for liking Janet. And I was like, well, you know what I wanted to do was dislike it, but that would make me more of a Karen. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything. And I was like, I didn't say I approved of her behavior. I just love that she goes to Dave and Buster's. Anyways, and it just feels, I do hate that we've gotten to a place where it's just like slam, 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 slam. And part of me also feels hypocritical because that's what you and I are doing. But I also like to think of it as we're trying to see multiple perspectives of a situation and not just attack people ruthlessly. Now, Jax, I think you and I have both, like, walls down. He kind of deserves whatever he gets at this point. I think everyone else deserves chances till they don't.
Hey, not to toot our own horn, but you're right, and I agree. I feel like we're so good at seeing all different angles, and even if this person has, like, a ton of, like, irredeemable qualities, like, if they do one good thing, we're human enough to be like, I understand what I get them. I feel bad. Like when Janet and Jason were in the room while people were partying next door. I did feel bad for them, you know? It's like,
that sucks.
We have to be able to see both sides. That's what makes a good conversation.
And that's why we like reality TV, right? Like, it's because we have opinions on things and it's fun to talk about with your friends and see how they view it and how they view it because everyone views it differently. Because we're human, isn't that neat?
At the end of the day, they're on TV for entertainment.
At the end of the day, it's not that serious, but it becomes serious because they get death threats. So you know what? That suddenly does make it very serious.
Those death, I can't, that's too much.
Yeah, I think any time you're doing that type of stuff, it's too much. Even at Jax, I wouldn't give a death threat.
You thought about that. You thought about that. I saw you think about that for a second.
But I wouldn't, you know? No. Anyways, how'd we get here?
Speaking of Jax, did you hear the news that dropped today?
That he's not returning to the Valley?
Correct.
Oh my gosh. Whose decision do you think that was?
Well, it sounds exactly like the reason that he chose to not return to Vanderpump Rules. I'm choosing to step away at this time. You know you're not being brought back. You knew you weren't being brought back to Vanderpump. Bravo does this where they do allow people the opportunity to make it seem like they're leaving, like Lexi, for example, from Summer House. Everyone online is like, Bravo didn't ask her back. But the way that it was worded is if, like, you know, I'm not, like, they try to make it seem like it was their choice to not return, which I do think is, like, a kind of a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
But when it comes to someone like Jax Taylor, Bravo, that's, again, the difference between, like, cancellation and holding someone accountable. Bravo, just hold this motherfucker accountable. We do not stand for his actions on this show. Boom. He's not being asked back. Thank you. Like, that's all you have to say. Don't make it seem like it's, Jax, I'm deciding to not come back to focus on my mental health and my family and my rehabilitation. Shut the fuck up, Jax.
Well, do you think they did that so there's kind of a crack in the door in case, God forbid, they think enough time has passed again for him to come back again?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what they're doing. If they straight up fire him, but they straight up fired Kristen Doty, and she's the star of the Valley.
That's
Rules
true.
are different for the men, I guess.
Well, and she hasn't been banned again, so, you know, she's learned from her mistakes, I
feel
guess.
There must be a meeting at Bravo like, all right, Jax, we said you'd have 3 strikes. That's your second strike. Be careful. It's like it should be 1 strike. You're out, buddy.
I know. And this episode was another kind of disturbing example of why we don't need him on our TV screen.
Well, I think that's why this statement was released this morning. So
Oh, really?
That's my theory. So we're recording this episode on Wednesday, Wednesday the 16th. The statement came out this morning. Yeah, I mean, that scene of him in the episode talking to Brittany he's manic. Like, I don't feel comfortable watching him.
Yeah, I'm scared. Tom Schwartz is right. Someone's going to wind up in jail if they don't cease and desist this. So.
And you know it's bad when we have to say Tom Schwartz is right.
Exactly. And you know, we have to say it's bad when Jesse Lally's right. You know, Jesse's telling Jax, don't go drinking out to it's not going to help anything.
Yeah.
Or anybody. You know, when those are voices of reason, we've hit a dark time. It's a problem.
Times are tough.
Times are tough. But hey.
My mom just sent me a video and she was like, I know you don't love Jesse, but he makes a point here. And it was him on a podcast basically saying, you know, he thinks he is smart in a lot of what he says. And he thinks that the reason that the internet hate towards Janet is so bad, because to his point was, what do we know about Janet? Like, we don't know anything about her life. We don't know how her postpartum's really been. We don't know about her first marriage that ended in divorce. Like, it's interesting that we don't talk about how Jason's her second husband. We don't really talk about Jason's work or their backstory. Like, we don't really know anything about them. So that when Janet acts out like this, there isn't that much empathy towards her because we don't know her. And he is right about that.
Yeah, he does make a really good point. All that we know about Janet is like how she exists in relation to the group.
Yes.
We don't know much about Janet within Janet, and Janet and Jason within Janet and Jason. We're only seeing it within this context, and that's a good point. Jesse isn't an idiot. Like I think that's a very wise and smart observation.
Totally. Let's get into the episode, shall we?
Let's back up to the beginning of the episode where all of this started.
We are recapping The Valley Season 2, Episode 14, titled Making Up is Hard to Do. We see everybody like back in LA after Hawaii. I had enough of Hawaii, so I'm glad we're out of there.
Aloha, the other way. You know what I mean? It means goodbye.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Apparently, Jasmine is a realtor. I must have missed that. I'm sure it was mentioned. I vaguely remember it being mentioned.
Completely missed it. No idea. Was thoroughly confused as to why she was touring this home. But also, everyone in LA is a realtor, so also not that confusing.
Exactly. Everybody knows a realtor. My mom's a realtor. Everybody's a fucking realtor.
They're great. Love realtors.
So Jasmine is showing Danny and Nia a house in Sherman Oaks. I do wonder how Michelle and Jesse feel about that because they're also both realtors, but...
I think Jesse and Michelle are in a league, no offense, way above where Jasmine is in terms of properties.
You know what? You're probably right. That $1 million house is like nothing to Jesse and Michelle.
Yeah.
This did kind of feel like a really set up scene to me. Like they were never going to buy this house. It's smaller than the apartment they live in.
By 800 square feet.
Yeah.
That's, for reference, our studio apartment that we used to live in was 425 square feet.
Wow.
Like the house was 2 apartments smaller than what they had.
Yeah.
So obviously they were not going to buy this. They didn't have a master bathroom? No.
Yeah.
Hell no, girl.
I mean, it was a cute house, but no.
It was a cute house, but not for their needs, as they say.
And it wasn't in Santa Clarita.
And it wasn't north enough. You got to keep going.
Gotta keep going.
Get back on that 101.5. I don't know. What do you take?
One of the numbers.
I'd take a number up.
So after they tour the house, they are discussing the Hawaii trip, which is a big theme throughout this episode. It was a lot of talking about Hawaii. But Nia does refer to Janet as Voldemort of the Valley because she doesn't even want to say her name.
That was funny. I give Nia props for that. That was funny.
It was funny. So yeah, they just kind of debrief Hawaii. Again, it's a setup for the whole episode. We then have a scene at Sheena's house where Janet and Michelle debrief Sheena on what happened in Hawaii. They're talking about Kristen, saying she's going way too hard on Danny and Nia. Saying she's going way too hard for Danny and Nia. And then Sheena has a very interesting quote here. She says, "This is what Kristen does. She latches onto the popular girl and she doesn't care who she has to step on to get there."
Which reveals 2 insightful things. One, that is a pattern that Kristen Doughty has. We've seen it since the early days of Vanderpump Rules when she wanted to be friends with Stassi and it was kind of like Stassi or bust. And it also sheds light on the fact that she thinks Nia's the popular girl. And there's some reverence for Nia that I hadn't quite seen before she made that statement. But it makes sense. She was Miss USA. They're, the real do-gooders in LA. I mean, I just thought it was very interesting.
They were very well liked after season 1 by the fans. So no, that does make total sense. And yeah, because you and I just watched Vanderpump season 1 and 2, I mean, that was a big theme of Kristen just basically being Stassi's minion, and Sheena did get the brunt of that, when Stassi was mad at Sheena, then Kristen was mad at Sheena. So I do see Sheena's point here a little bit.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting she's saying it all these years later.
Yeah. So then we go back to the house that Jasmine, Danny, and Nia are at while they're chatting. And it is interesting how one common enemy can bring people together. In the beginning of the season, Jasmine did not fuck with Danny. Jasmine didn't like Danny. And now they're together because they're all just pissed off at Janet. They're one common enemy.
The enemy of your enemy is my friend.
And that's why that is a famous quote, because it's true. And Jasmine's point in this whole thing, and again, I've been riding from Jasmine from the beginning of this whole thing, is
You love Jasmine.
Janet should not be bringing up her and Melissa's situation. She says, this is a sensitive subject, which it is, and they're trying to move forward from this. It's not Janet's story to tell.
Yeah, and it's not. We said that last episode.
And then throughout all of this, they just kind of talk about how Jason is like a casualty in all of this.
Gosh, which will lead us to the Jason and Janet scenes later. That do kind of like break my heart a little bit.
Yeah. So then we do a scene at Kristen and Luke's house where they, discuss their pregnancy struggles, whether or not, what will they do if Kristen can't get pregnant. And again, I'm just so happy. It's easy for me to watch these scenes knowing that they now have their baby.
Yeah, totally. I would be very sad if it still weren't a reality, but knowing it all worked out makes it much easier to watch the strife during the time.
Exactly. There was a positive payoff at the end. Then Jax shows up at their house with a giant orchid, and you just know. Tom Schwartz said, dude, you got to bring that with you.
Exactly.
If you, bringing a plant to someone's house is such a Schwartz move, and now that Schwartz lives next to Jax, I bet you he just was like, gave it to him, like, bring this to Kristen, dude. It'll look good. You should do this.
Oh, I bet Schwartz has like an orchid giving room where he lets them like live so he can give them out to guests. 100%. And Jax comes in pretty calm, down. He gives an eerie feel to him as he does later on in the episode.
Yeah.
Did you think so?
100%. It was weird. It was the way he acted was very robotic and like
Yes.
almost like he had been practicing everything he was saying in the mirror. Like the way he was talking throughout this whole episode was you just knew any second he was going to explode.
Yeah.
And he eventually did. But yeah, so he does congratulate Kristen and Luke, and he does apologize for almost ruining their engagement. And he says to them, which is what he keeps saying, he's been saying, he says it again this episode, was, I haven't seen my son in days. Which again, he's just saying that as a way to blame Britney. Like he's trying to make it look like Britney's so fucked up. This is what she's doing to me.
I do think Kristen and Luke gave him the best advice he could hear at this moment, though. When they were like, okay, that's what you're upset about. Your biggest thing is that you don't get to see your son at night. Start there. Start the conversation with, I want to see my son at night. How can we do that so you're comfortable? Maybe it's a Ring camera. Maybe it's something else. Those are all logical steps that if you really wanted to see your son, if you really were just hurting as much as you said, that you would be able to have that much of a conversation.
No, notice how he never is saying to Britney, what do you need from me?
Never.
How can I make this better? It's like, you're ruining my life. You're the worst person. You're taking my son away from me. It's like, you obviously, Jax Taylor just wants to win. And he feels like he's losing, so he feels like he's underwater, which is why he's reacting this way. I'm so tired of watching it.
Yeah. Well, good. We won't have too much longer is the good news.
Thank God. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, so then we are at Kristen and Luke's house again for a photo shoot, right?
Yep.
It goes right back
Yep.
to them. Kristen's house is actually really sick. Like, it's very,
Yeah, it's
70s
cute.
looking. It was perfect
Love
for
it.
that photo shoot.
Yeah, it really was.
I would love to live
really-
there. Brittany's there. She's a part of the photo shoot. And to no one's surprise, Jax is blowing up Brittany's phone. He's asking her for the ring verification. And Brittany's like, obviously, I'm not going to give you that because then you're in my Ring camera. And I don't think Jax knew that she was filming when she put him on speakerphone. Oh, he screams at her on the phone like it was nothing to him. To me, that shows he does that all the time. And when he knows the cameras are there, he acts very subdued. But he fucking yells at her all the time.
And the way Zach heard him yelling at her shows that happens all the time. For him to just say, hang up.
Yeah.
Hang up. They've heard this before. This is what he's going to do. And we're not going to go anywhere. Just go ahead and hang up now. And she's clearly getting to the point where she's like learned those habits to be like, yep, this isn't going to go anywhere. So I will hang up.
Good. Yeah. And good for her. Good for her. Kristen, Brittany, and Zach, what do? They rehash Hawaii. They talk about the Janet, the Danny situation. I mean, look, it was a huge fight. I don't blame them for not being over it. And you know what I realized? A cast trip is never the season finale because you need to be back in the town to rehash it afterwards. Are you okay?
No, I just almost spit up because that's such a funny realization. They know the cast trip is going to be such a disaster that they can't have it at the end because we got to talk about it, how much of a disaster it was.
We have to watch the fallout of the cast trip because you and I were like, it's crazy that this boat thing wasn't the finale. It's like, well, obviously it can't be because there's a lot to clean up from that.
Like, we could go on for weeks about how horrible that trip was.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think we're going to, but that's a funny realization.
Yeah, I just thought about it. I was thinking about all the other shows. I'm like, yeah, it's never the finale. Then we go to Jax's condo where Jesse comes over and him and Jax have a little bro chat. I hate even talking about this. It's just so fucking eye-rolly. Jax tells Jesse that he found out that Brittany is dating somebody, and Jax says that he just doesn't know how she's getting over this so fast. I don't know how she's moving on so quickly with another man. Don't act like you have not been fucking other women now, fucking other women in your marriage, and fucking other women while you guys were dating. Come on now, Jax. We've been watching. We've been watching you.
We've been all around it, Jax. We see you. We see their panties on your counter. We see the wipes on their panties on your counter.
We heard the recording of you fucking Faith in front of a 95-year-old ailing woman. We know you're cheating.
At a party. Everyone heard it too.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
dude, like, do you have amnesia? Like,
No, he has a disorder. He has some stuff going on. Jesus.
again, he's just saying, like, he just wants to see Cruz, and, you know, he could go out and get shit-faced right now, but he doesn't want to. Yeah, okay.
You know how I took that as? I took that as, and I see this from my husband sometimes too. It was a subtle invite to see if Jesse would be like, hey, let's go. Because you know, if Jesse was like, let's say fuck it, let's just go over there. You know, Jax would have been like, whatever, fuck it, yeah, right? Let's go to Jax's bar. Let's go to Jax's bar.
So true. He's like, yeah, we could go out right now. We could maybe like have a couple shots, have like a boys' day, throw back a couple beers. Like, he's really like, huh? Come on, Jesse.
That's how I took it. But
No,
Jesse,
totally.
even Jesse laid the law down, which I guess good for him. Jesse also discloses that his assets are frozen. What the holy hell?
Dude, yeah. So basically, they froze their assets because Michelle doesn't want to be responsible for Jesse's debts and Jesse's loans. Jesse says in the scene that Ukraine and Russia have a better relationship than he and Michelle do.
I didn't love that. Not now.
Well,
not now.
especially like when he said it. I mean, think about when it was
Yeah.
recorded. I mean, yeah, I'm like, also, you guys, it doesn't look like Ukraine-Russia level to me on TV. Like, they get along in some situations, but I will say what they have going on does sound extremely messy behind the scenes. But I agree, don't compare it to a literal war that's going on right now.
I also agree that they both are making it sound much, 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 much worse than what we're seeing.
100%.
Like, we're seeing them not get along well in public and him yell at her and stuff like that, but we aren't seeing specifics about, like, accounts being frozen and, like,
Right.
school districts. I mean, we get a hint of it here and there, but it's definitely worse than they're letting on, or it's not as bad and they're just trying to make it seem a lot worse. It's one of the two.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you know, they just did a trip in Hawaii together and didn't get in one argument. Aaron and Jesse were, like,
Yeah.
palling around. Like, it's hard for me to understand what's true and what's not. Do you guys hate each other or do you tolerate each other? Because I understand you don't like each other, but I'm seeing you tolerate each other.
I'm seeing you respect each other, well, loosely, but I'm seeing you get along. So I wonder if it's an and, like, he can get along in vacation settings, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty, it's where everything falls apart. I don't know, but I hope both of them figure their shit out for Isabella's sake, because she is the cutest little girl in this entire world.
She is the cutest kid I've ever seen in my life. Oh
So
my
fucking
God.
cute.
She is so cute. So now we have the next scene where Nia is at her like mommy makeover doctor's appointment. I just felt like this was such a vulnerable and important scene for us to really understand what Nia is going through. And personally, I'm surprised she even like did this on camera.
I was surprised she let us see it all on camera.
Yeah.
I mean, they blurred out what was censored. But I mean, she let us in the room, let us in the exam. I mean, yeah, she didn't leave anything to the imagination.
No, tit was out. I mean, like,
Yeah.
but it is, I'm sure so many women can relate to how she's feeling. And it was, I just thought it was like so amazing that she did that. Now, not that I ever could, but the main thing I was thinking while watching the scene was like, thank God I was never in pageants or was like a model or something like that, because like I couldn't imagine the pressure that these women feel that basically made a career off of like parading their bodies around. Like the amount of pressure that they feel now must feel crazy for them.
Yeah, especially when that thing that made you valuable, I put valuable in quotes, all those years is less, quote, valuable as things stretch and things move, because God forbid you've carried humans throughout your body.
God forbid.
Is an emotional experience. I think it's going to help a lot of people that if even Mia Sanchez is uncomfortable in her skin after having a child, then I think we're allowed to feel a little uncomfortable too. You know, and she looks fucking perfect. As Danny says, you look like a smoke show, you know, like the cheesy, gross way he says it. But it's true. I mean, she's gorgeous. I would never think anything's wrong with her, but you're allowed to feel that way when your body has gone through such crazy changes.
Totally. Dude, I actually felt the same way. Like when the doctor said to her that she was on the verge of extreme and what her body was like, I'm like, how? Like,
I
looks
knew she was
great.
going to have that reaction. I knew because I've been in appointments before where they've said similar stuff. And it is, for whatever, that's the only word you can hear. You can leave the parking lot, leave the doctor's office, and all you can hear is that they thought my situation was extreme. And then you're even more self-conscious.
But
I mean,
how?
it's part of the process.
Like, she looked great to me.
I know. The only yeah, I mean, I won't get into details about what I think he was talking about that was blurred out. I thought she looked fantastic. So whatever she wants to, but now we know that she wanted a number 4. So maybe she's on her way to her makeover now.
You know what? Maybe she is getting her makeover right now.
I know. I'm excited for her if she is. Hey, you know, my dad-in-law's a plastic surgeon. I am all for feeling your best self, girls.
And I know damn well when she gets that makeover, the first photos are going to be a fucking Us Weekly exclusive.
Oh, hell yeah, as she should. Grab that bag.
So the next scene is at the tattoo parlor, which I just want to make a point to say that we are a half hour into the episode, and this is the first time we are seeing Janet and Jason in the episode. They've been talked about a lot, but we haven't seen them yet. They get matching wedding ring tattoos because of, you know, all the hullabaloo around Jason not wearing his wedding ring. How do you feel about this? Just the act of, let's take away the conversation they have after, but the act of them getting wedding ring tattoos.
Within the context of everything that's happened, or just as a couple getting
Within the
wedding
context of everything that's happened.
I think it's one of those things that I think Jason means the absolute best by this. I don't think Janet forced him to do this. I think she's gotten so much shit that he was like, what would make her feel better? Hell, I love you so much that I don't care. I'll get a permanent ring on my finger. Is I hope how that conversation went.
Yeah.
And she was like, JK, no, don't do it. And he was like, no, seriously, like you mean more to me than all of this bullshit nonsense. And he kind of talks a little bit more about that on the after show, how it's like, it was always the other way around. People said I wasn't good enough for her. And then the show came on, and now, like, she's not good enough for me. I want to take it as the glass half full, and that it's a cute, endearing sign from Jason. That said, I do think the public probably annihilated them a little bit for it.
I don't actually know the public's perception of it quite yet, but I couldn't tell if I thought it was cute or if it was showy.
Yeah, but I don't think Jason's one to do showy gestures like that. But this season has been different.
Well, also, Jason could have had a different motive about it. So at first I was like, maybe they have a different motive, right? Jason's not showy. Jason's like, you know, if this makes you happy, let's do it. Janet may have a different motive. But, you know, then after they get those tattoos, which I actually don't hate that idea of getting, like, just in general, of getting, like, your ring tattooed on you. But after they do have there's a really vulnerable moment between the two of them where, you know, they have this conversation and Janet says, you know, sometimes like, I don't see why Jason is with me and I feel like I don't deserve him. And I'm afraid that one day he's going to see the things that everybody says about me. And that did break my heart.
It breaks my heart and like brings me to tears because I don't know. I'm not obsessed with Janet, everybody. I think it's cool she went to magic camp.
She's only your best friend.
I like that she has a metal detector. But I don't know. I'm married to like the love of my life, and sometimes, you know, and no one's perfect. Everyone comes with complications, and sometimes it's like this life is too good to be true. Right. I totally relate with her on that. Yeah. But I've never had the whole world then say you suck, you suck, you suck. So I mean, I can only imagine.
Yeah, but then, you know, I will say on the flip side, Janet could be using this as a way to like look within a little bit more, you know?
Yes.
Maybe it is a me problem. Like maybe I should try and change. Maybe I should be nicer. Maybe I shouldn't get in the drama. But as of now, it doesn't seem like she is. And look, this might sound crazy, but I want to see a Janet redemption arc. Like, I want to give her a chance. Like, I want to see her come out the other end and right her wrongs and figure her shit out. Right now, it doesn't look like we're on the track to getting there. Like, Jax Taylor is a lost cause, obviously. But, like, we've given Jax Taylor season after season after season after season to try to see him change. Like,
we've given him a decade.
Why aren't we giving Janet the same grace, you know? Like, I hope that she comes out the other end of this, because right now, like, it's really not looking good for her.
But, I mean, I'll agree to what you're saying, and that it doesn't really look like she understands any of the criticism she is getting.
Right.
There is a disconnect somewhere with her of, like, she sees the online hate, and she doesn't necessarily believe it, but it makes her very sad. I don't know. Whenever there's smoke, there's fire. If there's enough people saying a certain comment, there's probably some lesson to be learned within it. And I think she's just like blind to the lessons right now.
I completely
Like if she
agree.
just took the lesson blinders off and was like, okay, I can see how I came across like this because I didn't need to say that. Like she has taken accountability for nothing.
No, I agree. You're right. It is such a disconnect. Like, it's almost like just bare bones. Like, she's just stubborn. And, like, she doesn't want to admit that she's wrong. She will fight to the death until her point is proven. And she will not say sorry first. And that's going to be her downfall.
Although, Kate, I just keep going back to when we met her last year, and her first words to us were, I'm not a bitch this season. I hope you don't think I'm a bitch. I'm a really great person. Like, she clearly cares about how people think of her.
Yeah, that's so crazy that she said that, and now, like, look at it.
Yeah.
Now we have a really quick scene at Kristen and Luke's house where Nia comes over. Again, they talk about Kristen's pregnancy issues. She says how it's been a year since she's had her miscarriage. They talk babies. They talk houses. They talk mommy makeover. It was a sweet convo.
I didn't see the point of this scene. It was sweet, but we've already gone over both those things. Nia wants a mommy makeover. Got it.
I think they were pressed for time and needed to put something else in because
A
this was
little extra bonus.
it was such a pointless scene. I agree. We've already talked about this in two separate. You had a scene with Kristen and Luke. You had a scene with Danny and Nia. Why are we now doing a scene with Nia and Kristen? Like, we've already got here. Okay.
But, you know, no hate. Love is love. Next scene.
The main attraction is this next scene at Brittany's house.
At finally Brittany's house, just Brittany's house that she is back in. Let justice be known.
Jax comes over and here we go. They're having a meeting to set boundaries and figure out how to co-parent with Cruz. That's all you have to say for me to know. It's going to end in a fight and you guys are never going to come to a conclusion. It's funny, Jax like asks if anyone missed him in Hawaii and Brittany's like, no.
And he's like, nobody missed me. I mean, God, so narcissistic.
Yeah.
And she calls him that in this conversation. I was shooketh at how quickly she said, how many Xanax are you on right now? Because that didn't even cross my mind for some reason, but once she said it, I was like, oh, that makes sense. He was acting really stoic and weird and detached.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what, so like, clearly he's had a problem with that before. And you know if he's going over to film, he's anxious, he knows he doesn't want to show true Jax on camera. The only way he can suppress real Jax is to drug real Jax.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Like, that makes total sense to me that he would come, like, totally narked up and be like, what?
He thinks he's entering, like, as, like, this peaceful Zen guy. No, he's immediately like, you took down all my pictures. What, you just wiped away 10 years of our relationship? Brittany says, no, you did. He says, Brittany, you're slandering me. She says, no, it's not slander if it's true. I'm speaking facts. She said, then, like, so this quickly becomes not about Cruz and about them just picking each other apart.
It becomes about Jax's ego in 5 seconds. And let's just not forget that Jax is the first one to take down all the pictures.
Yes.
While Brittany still lived there.
He threw out a photo of Brittany's dad. Hello.
A tit for tat. I mean, we can go there if we want to go there.
You're right. This was an ego blow. And that's why he was like, wait, you took my pictures down? Like, he really expects her to be like crawling back. Like I think he obviously senses this time is different. She is serious this time. And he doesn't know how to handle it. He doesn't know how to manipulate her. In the scene, she says, you know, Jax, it took you less than 5 days out of rehab to start drinking again. Apparently, he was telling people at Jax's Studio City, make it look like I'm drinking water, but he's actually drinking vodka. And I believe it. I do.
Totally. Yeah, I do. We have no reason not to believe it at this point.
Yeah, Brittany has a talking head where she says, you know, I really loved him and I really did try to make him a better person. And maybe I'm crazy for writing for Britney, because I am noticing a lot of people online being like, I don't really feel bad for her. Like, she stuck around. Like, she's part of the problem, which I'm with it.
People
That
are harsh.
she has been part of the problem for some of it. But you know what? Like, better late than never. Like, get his ass. Like, what do you guys want her to just never say anything? Like, it's
Exactly.
like,
what do you want her to do? Stay in it forever? Would that make you happier?
Right. Like, I'm happy that this is happening, and I understand what people are saying, but like, I just, again, better late than never. He needs to hear this, and he needs to hear this from her, the one person that he thought would always put up with his bullshit.
Yeah.
During the scene, Jax is saying, why are you doing this to me? I'm so sad. You're throwing away our marriage. Like, shut the fuck up. During this argument, like you said earlier, Jax is really doing his best to like keep his composure. He's very stoic. He's like eerily calm, right? He's trying to be like that changed, rehabilitated man, I guess. But it's interesting that once Britney mentions money, this is when the veil drops and he completely changes.
180.
She says to him, when they divorce, he's going to have to pay for half of Cruz's medical bills. The son that you care so much about, by the way.
Right. His medical bills.
And he flips the fuck out and says, because it's also, she's going to have full custody and he's going to pay for half of these bills. And he says, well, you know what? You make more money than me, so I'm going to go after your alimony. Now, there is a law in the state of California, and I may be fucking this up, but it is a 50-50 state, which is what Jax said. And I think if you get divorced within the first 7 years of your marriage, I may be wrong about this. I'm not a lawyer. Whoever makes the most money at the time of divorce will have to continuously pay out the ex till the kid's 18 or something like that. And I'm pretty sure, however much money Britney makes after the divorce, she still has to keep paying him half of that.
Yeah, so I was confused why he said her alimony too, because if she does make more money, she's going to be paying him, not the other way.
Well, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Well, clearly he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, because Britney has to say, what do you think child support is?
Right.
And he's like, I'm not going to pay for him if I can't see him. That's the whole point of child support. Yeah, you're not going to be there physically, so bet your ass be there financially.
Yeah, you have to support him one way. And then again, it's like, well, if I can't see my son, I'm not going to support my son.
That doesn't sound like someone who should be around his son a whole lot. Like, that sucks. Especially for a son who has high health needs.
He's just so selfish. Like, I couldn't believe this conversation even happened. Then he says to Britney, every time I come over here, you act so mean to me. You discard me. Why are you trying to destroy the father of your son? It's like, stop putting this on Britney. Like, just please stop. She's like, I feel bad for Britney. I do.
I do too. And look, yes, she did do this to herself, but she's trying to, at least now, to get out of it. And at some point, I think the hardest thing is just, I don't know. I think it's going to be no communication for a bit. Or they're now talking to their lawyers? I don't know. I just think there's no way to deal with him directly.
I agree with you. And I have no idea. I mean, by the way, for both parties, like, Jax sucks, but Britney did meet him in that conversation already, like, raising her voice and fighting with him. Like, it wasn't, they're never gonna see eye to eye, so they need a mediator. Yeah. She does end the conversation on a bit of a mic drop, which I agreed with her when she said, I don't want Cruz to be anything like you, and you should feel the same way. Like, just take a look at yourself in the mirror, dude, for real.
And I wonder what he said in response to that, because they just didn't show it.
Right. They made it seem like he just sat there with his thoughts, and you know what? Maybe she's right. Fuck no. He obviously responded to that.
I'm sure he said something like, I don't want him to end up like you. Look at you. It's like, he just turns the finger back around.
My final thought is that I just wish Jax would understand that Britney is doing this for Cruz. This is what's best for Cruz. Britney is not selfish like you. Britney's not thinking about herself in this moment. She's thinking about her son. If she thought the best thing for her son was to be with her father, actually, she does think the best thing for her son is to be with her father, but she's not allowing that to happen until Jax actually makes changes. She has been very consistent in saying, I want Cruz to have a relationship with his father. I just can't have it happen now while Jax is being like this.
while he's not sober, while he's having other people to the house.
And while he's manic and argumentative and scary and dangerous. I'm sorry, but that's how he is.
I truly cannot wait for this man to be off of our screens so we don't have to talk about him anymore. Is he going to be at the reunion?
Yeah, they already filmed it. He was first chair.
Of course I bet he was so stoked to be first. See, my show.
He was on one side, Brittany was on the other side.
There you go.
That would have been iconic if they would have made Jax second chair or third chair.
Last chair, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's that, Jax? Oh, no worries. Anyways, moving
I
on.
wonder if he's ever been first chair at a Vanderpump reunion. I'm sure in the first or second season, definitely.
I feel like they sat differently in Vanderpump reunions too.
Yeah, at once they did almost stadium seating where they
Yeah,
all
it
stood
was.
on bleachers. Yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah, it's like everyone get in your pocket.
Yeah. Well, we also learned that next week is going to be this season finale episode.
It's here, people. And that is yet another show that you and I will have covered, Catherine.
I know. Well, trust me. Well, I can imagine we'll have at least 2 reunions. So we've still got some episodes left.
Phew, because I was getting sad.
Yeah, we still got time. Don't worry. The Valley drama will never end.
It literally will never end. Especially online. On
that note, I'm like, we record these episodes for an hour, and I'm like, I bet you some fucking news has dropped in the last hour that we've been doing this.
Reality TV news is the hardest to keep up with. I don't know how you do it. It's like there's a new thing every other fucking minute because there's so many people to keep track of.
I give a lot of credit to the Instagram pages and the other creators that I follow because there's so much I miss and then other people catch, and probably vice versa where I'll hear someone talk about it or post about it and be like, let me look into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
If I didn't follow reality TV people, I would not know anything. It's not just coming up in my news app.
Well, I mean, I follow you, so I follow the only one I need.
And say that.
There we go.
Well, Gabbers, thank you so much for listening to another upbeat, positive, fun episode of our Valley Recaps.
Right here on Girls Unscripted.
We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Rate, like, subscribe, love. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.